We'll say good morning. This is Monday, November 2nd, and we have quite a bit to look at about the trajectory of what is now Hurricane Eta. It is 90 miles an hour top wind speed. It's, as you can see here, the center off the coast of Nicaragua, forecast to strike Puerto Cabeza this evening in the northern coast of Nicaragua, then come inland. And then the question is, what happens after that, which really adds an interesting wrinkle for our forecast. At first I said that I was more worried about rain from this than wind. Now I'm a little more worried about wind, especially as we get into Friday night and Saturday morning next week, and I'll show you why. So first of all, let's go back to the U.S. model. It shows, we go back to the 0 hour here. We see a pretty strong center of a storm with the strongest winds on the northern side of it. That's probably going to bring some decent 3 to 4 foot storm surge to the northern coast of Nicaragua and potentially the southern coast of Honduras, right near the border area. But let's put this in motion and see what happens here. You notice it strikes and then comes in. Let me slow this down a little bit so that we can see it a little better. It makes me go through the whole thing before I come back to the beginning. But strikes, kind of falls apart as it comes inland, but then kind of reforms to our north. And then the North American model, you'll notice there has quite a strong storm coming up through Florida. Now this is into next week, so that's very uncertain that it'll actually do that and hit Florida. But this general motion of coming inland and coming back to the north, there's general agreement on that in the models. So this is now the European model, and it shows it striking the same place, Puerto Cabeza, coming inland, creating a lot of rain, unfortunately, for the mainland of Honduras and for us as well. But then what's interesting here is you notice how it comes just north of us and then reforms and becomes, according to the European model, a pretty strong hurricane threatening the Cayman Islands. And this is Tuesday. You notice we got a pretty strong storm there, even strengthening more. This is a pretty bad solution for the Cayman Islands. We would still be affected by this on the southern side, even though not as bad as Cayman, into next week if this were to happen. But one of the things about this forecast that concerns me is when we get to Saturday, this is about midnight, Friday night, Saturday morning. You notice there's some reds and yellows over our head, so that's in the 50 knot or 55, 56 mile per hour range for us. That's not good news for power outages and individuals in, I would say, precarious situations on the island, as we know many islanders have. So this is very concerning about what's going to happen, and then you can see some even stronger winds, but perhaps a little bit off to our east in the Sunday time period. Okay, that's the European model. Let's now go to the ICON, which is a German model. And again, similar trajectory going into Puerto Cabeza, maybe a little bit more northern, centered in northern Honduras, this one seems to be, and then coming back out, emerging pretty much right over us. And then as we get into Saturday here, that's when this one predicts we would get the strongest winds during the day on Saturday into those 45 to 50 mile an hour ranges. And then this is the Canadian model. Again, coming in, northern mainland. This one's a little bit better for us because it shows the center of the storm actually going through Belize and the Yucatan, which would bring us lighter winds, and certainly we would hope that could happen. This is the consensus of the models. This is what the National Hurricane Center uses for its official trajectory. And you notice here there's most of the models have this consensus that the storm will turn right and come over us in the 96-hour range. That's Friday into Friday evening. And so yeah, not great. This is the Canadian one. This is the one that would be better for us, but obviously that's not where most of the model runs are going. And generally speaking, the consensus is the right one. Let's look at what this is called wind accumulation. This is the highest wind, and the U.S. model is a little bit nicer to us at 40 miles an hour, but the European model puts us at the highest wind gust of 53. And as you can see, they really think that this area near Cayman is going to get hammered. Let's go to rain accumulation. This is over the next 10 days. You can see here, you can compare it with 5 days. So obviously that reformation would be in the next 10 days. And the European model puts us at 15 inches. As we come down here on the mainland, as I was looking around yesterday, I found some areas in the mainland that it actually predicted more like 30 inches of rain, which would be catastrophic down there, clearly. Again, the GFS, not quite so much, which is the U.S. model, 7.7, which would be very nice for Guanaja, 10.75 for us. So that would be manageable over 10 days, but there is the potential there for more rain, and into the 15. Some models might put it 20 inches of rain. So be careful. Watch out especially for the developments that might happen on Friday night, Saturday morning. Our windiest times will be Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and Friday night, Saturday morning. So keep an eye out, and we'll be watching for you on Roatan Weather.